Today is
Motivational Monday.
Yes, and have you guys ever heard this before? Your blank, fill in the blank, is the sum of those closest to you. Some people say it's your top 5. Some people say it's your top 10. Who's at least in this room heard of this before? 2 or 3 of you? Who's never heard of it before? Like truly never. Oh, this will be good then. Okay, so Corey said, Dr. Ernst, can you teach about finances? And that's not so much motivational. I mean, it can be, but let's talk about it from a motivational perspective. What would be the easiest way to change your finances? Ready? Put finances as an X, and your finances is the sum of those closest to you. What does this mean? It means the level that this person and this person and this person and this person and this person fluctuate their finances will be a reflection of how you do it. So who are the most closest people to us typically? Person number 1 is spouse, right? Person number 2 is parents. It could be kids, right? So children. So who else? Coworkers. Who else? Friends. So in this analogy, our money and our status of money has to do with what does our spouse think and or do with their money. If your spouse is a spender, you will often be a well, not usually, because God makes husbands and wives different, but it will cause strife, won't it? I don't want to spend any money. I want to spend money on everything. If your parents have some influence over the decisions of how you do your money, and let's go deep, right? If you grew up in a family where they're like, you're not going to amount to anything, and money doesn't grow on trees, and we have to scrimp and save and eat beans and rice because money doesn't grow on trees. Your father works really hard for his income, and we shouldn't. What's the mindset that you will be programmed with if that's all you hear? You guys see this? Now, on the other hand, if you have parents who are like, no, man, money does grow on trees. In fact, that is a money tree. You guys know there is a money tree, right? Did you know this? There's actually a tree that's a money tree. It doesn't have dollar bills on it, but it's called a money tree. They claim the health of that tree reflects the health of your income, but it's just a tree. But what about your kids? As they get older, they can start to influence your thoughts and your thinking behind it. Mom, I really want the new iPhone because all my friends have it. Oh, we can't really afford it, but you're my daughter, so you know what? I'll go into debt for you. And then you have your coworkers, right? So where do they go to lunch and dinner, and what do they spend their money on? And do you hang out with your coworkers over the weekend? And So here's the whole thought. If you're like, man, I'm really frustrated with my finances, you know what you do? You can't change your spouse. You shouldn't. So we're going to keep that. You can't change your parents. You can't change your kids. Can you change your coworkers? Maybe you can change who you hang out with when you're at work. Can you change your friends? Yes. Sometimes you got to replace these or get rid of them. Sometimes you have to replace or get rid of these. But there will be certain people in your life that you can't replace. But if you instead now bring in some new influencers, who would be somebody good to put in your influence circle if you want to change your finances that is not your coworkers and not your friends? Yeah, so you need to start physically hanging out with a financial advisor. Hey, can we go to golf this weekend and chat about how I can increase my income? Who else could we add if we want to increase our finances? I'm going to help you guys if you don't know it. So, Well, true, but that's an act. So like Corey said, we need to tithe more. The Bible does say, yes, you'll be more financially secure and free if you tithe. But give me a person that you should hang out with if you want to increase your financial status. Ready? A friend whose net worth is 2x, 3x yours? Because I guarantee you their habits for money are different than yours. So the whole point, if you want to lose weight, hang out with skinny people because they tend to do things different than everyone else. If you want to get muscular, hang out with Dr. Zach because he does things different. And Dr. Matt, I'm not going to lie. Okay? If you want to get lean, hang out with me. But if you want to get whatever you want, hang out with the people that have what you want. I want a house with a lawn that's beautifully green and looks perfect. Go ask them. Hey, curious question. How do you make your lawn look so good? And go do what they do as long as it's healthy, not toxic. Do you guys understand? I want to have whatever in my life. You got to go, who can I replace? And the reason I had this red thing over here, let me see if I can go back. The reason I had this red thing here, is this going to work, guys? Here we go. Okay, boom, 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 boom. The reason I had that as red, and it wasn't necessarily that I picked parents, is there's usually someone in your influence that is the stinking, rotting egg who says the exact opposite. You shouldn't spend your money on that. You should do this instead. You shouldn't have to worry about what you eat. In fact, I got into a heated debate, if some of you saw it, on Facebook with a lady who thought eggs were bad and the devil's food. We're entitled to our own opinions. You can have the opinion, but there's always going to be that rotten egg who might influence you. Now, if you're super strong in your beliefs and who you are, someone can come to me and say, you know, animal protein is toxic and dangerous and will give you cancer. And I'll go, I agree, as long as it's conventional. But if it's organic and free range and wild caught and everything else, the research actually says the opposite. No. Dr. So-and-so wrote this book and said that you'll die if you eat animal protein. Are you a vegan? Didn't respond. Do you follow veganism? Didn't respond. Do you have any idea what you're talking about? Finally wrote back and said, hey, look at all this research, which was from the 80s and 90s. So I went to the greatest research book on the planet, the Bible. And I said, here's 5 verses about food. And I hate to say it, she wrote back and goes, I don't believe in that book either. And I went, well, we can stop this conversation. I do not allow, it's gone. I'll engage the conversation until I figure out, nope, you're not influencing. So do you do stuff like that? And who do you choose to be your inner 5? Because you can't change your spouse, you can't change your parents, you can't change your kids, but you can change who you hang out with at work and who your friends. Influence. Okay, that's Motivational Monday for you guys. Be blessed. Have an awesome day. And don't forget Wisdom Wednesday, Fun Fact Friday, and all kinds of fun stuff on all of our streaming channels. Be blessed. Can someone stop the camera for me? Push the red button and slide to the side.